Well, happy first Sunday of Lent. Thank you. So glad you're in it. So glad you're in it. So I like Lent. You know, I think Lent's a good thing. I think it gets a bad rap. So part of what I'm here to do is try to help you see that it's not so bad, after all. And in order to do that, I'm going to tell you this story. So this past Thursday, the day after Ash Wednesday, you know, and Ash Wednesday is the first day of Lent. So I went out for coffee with a friend. So we were sitting there, and after the pleasantries that you have when you first meet up with somebody, you know, how's it going? She said, you know what? I gave up cussing for Lent. And I was like, cool. How's it going? And she said, well, it was going great until our staff meeting this morning. And she said, at our staff meeting this morning, I blew it. I cussed 6 times in 10 minutes. And then she said, so you think I should just give up Lent? Is it over for me now? And what do you think? Really? Because I told her, give it up. Forget it. You've blown it, forget it. Yeah, no. No, yeah, I said no too. I said, no, I don't think you should give it up. But maybe, I thought, I said to her, maybe giving up something isn't what you really need to help Lent be meaningful for you. Maybe that's not your thing this year, giving up something. Because, you see, I gave up giving up something for Lent a long time ago. And I gave that up because it just wasn't having an impact on my life. It just wasn't working. It didn't do anything for me. And for me, Lent is supposed to do something for us, and on some level, to us. Okay, just to remind you, for those of you who weren't here, and there were a lot of you not here for Ash Wednesday, no slam, I'm not slamming you. Just saying. So, for me, for us, I think I speak for all of us, Lent is primarily about living life. And what is it that helps us live life? Our lives. And for me, that means that Lent is an intentional time. It's a time for intention that we can use to help us live a more authentic, full, and complete life. So Lent is here to help us. So for me, whatever helps us do just that, live an authentic, full, and complete life, that's what Lent is here to help us do. So focus on that. And if that means giving something up, okay. But if it doesn't mean giving something up, then you don't have to do that. So let me give you an example, okay? So picture this. I want you to go back in time with me. I'm in 8th grade, pretty far back. So I'm in 8th grade, I'm in middle school, and I go into my English class. And I'm wearing a cross that my parents gave me when I was confirmed in 6th grade, okay? I usually wore it inside my shirt, you know, because I was too cool to let anybody know, but I had it on, right? So I had it inside my shirt, but somehow or another, it fell out, and so it was outside of my shirt. And my English teacher, who, by the way, was not my biggest fan, she came over to me, and she took the cross. She grabbed it, and she just looked at it, and she's staring at it, and she's looking at me, and she's staring at it, and she's looking at me, and I'm getting like really nervous. And then she starts laughing. And then she goes, you shouldn't be wearing this. Now, this 8th grade, I remember this like it was yesterday. You shouldn't be wearing this, she said. You're not good enough to wear this. I know. If she did that today, she'd be fired. But back in the day, man, they could just abuse you without nothing happened. So she said that, and it stung. Yeah, it stung. But then there was a part of me that's like, well, you know, she's got a point. She's got a point. There's ample evidence to prove that I can be a real pain in the, you know, there's no doubt about it. I'm certainly not perfect. So I thought, you know, maybe she's right. Maybe I'm not good enough to wear this thing. So maybe, like my friend giving up Lent, maybe I should just take it off. But then I remember what I was so often heard at my church when I was a child. And what I heard was, you are a child of God. You are a child of God. And so by my 8th grade year, I'd probably heard that I was a child of God over 5,000 times. You are a child of God. And I never heard I wasn't good enough to be a child of God. What I heard was, for some unknown reason, God loves you. And that's good enough for you to be a child of God. So here's a dilemma, right? In my English class, I'm not good enough. But at church, I'm a child of God. Now, what the heck do you do with that? That's quite a tension. Well, I'm 59 years old now, and I have been told that I'm a child of God 56,742 times. And I've needed to hear it every time. Every single time I've needed to hear that. Because even though I'm not in 8th grade anymore, I still feel that tension between not being good enough and being a child of God. I mean, if I were truly a child of God, I wouldn't be so judgmental. Man, I can be so judgmental. I mean, if I were truly a child of God, I would not be so greedy, because I just always want more. It's never enough. If I were truly a child of God, you know, I'd be perfect, right? You see, and that's just my internal commentary. That's just what goes on inside of my head with this tension. Because in society, there's like a tidal wave of voices who are trying to tell me who I am. Tidal wave. TVs, movies, the news, other people, and the never-ending, ongoing commentary of social media that says, be this, be this, be this, be this, be this, over and over and over again, all throughout the day. And what they say to me is, you know what? You are what you produce. And you are what you consume. And you are what you look like. And you must be perfect. So inside of me, I hear the voice that says, prove it that you're a child of God. Prove it. And outside of me, well, outside, they never use that term, child of God, do they? You see, in order to remind myself that I'm a child of God, I need this place. And we need each other. Because this is the only place where I hear it. And I have to say, and here's the Lenten part, I need Lent. Because for me, Lent has become a time for me to deepen into what it means for me to be a child of God. So every Lent, I discover some new aspect of what that means, of what being God's child means for me. And as of now, here's what it means. That there's a spark of the divine within me and within every one of you who are here today, regardless of who you are. There's a spark of the divine. Being a child of God means that God's Spirit, the very essence of God, has chosen to live within me and within all of us. Being a child of God means that we are carriers of divinity. And we are called to experience divinity in ourselves and in each other. And because of that, we're called to treat each other with kindness, with dignity, and respect. You know, today we're going to baptize 3 beautiful, beautiful children. And maybe this is the first time they'll hear, or maybe not, because we're going to tell them, each one of them, you are a child of God. And nothing can take that away from you. No matter what you go through in your life, and you'll go through stuff, that's a given. And because you're a child of God, you are precious and of infinite value and worth. And we're going to promise, all of us, that we're going to treat them like that. Even that guy. Oh, man.